So I just like did the complex. I think a complex kiwi is quest 5, right?
Yeah.
So I just like I did. I think I finished them and I got the password for next quest. But I think this quest is kind of like straightforward. Like the only thing, because the professor just gave the header file right in the.
Scan now or go online today.
Oh, yeah, they both won yesterday. You betcha. The Jets and the Chargers a week from tonight. From 8 Eastern on ABC, ESPN, and ESPN Deportes with Peyton and Eli once again on ESPN2.
Those Jets, they're streaking.
They in a row.
My pub. Could you
Baby. This win, again, it doesn't matter how it looks.
That's right.
Oh, Greg the Leg Zerline to the rescue at the end of that one. And the Chargers, they look terrific. Here's Goff. And there's Allen St. Brown. Gets behind the defender and a big play to start the drive. He went around to meet Robertson. And Amon-Ra St. Brown turns that into a big play of 44 yards.
This is so good. Amon-Ra St. Brown runs an excellent route, but the play action in the pocket, here he is. He's going to run this. But you got heat coming off the edge, and Jared Goff has to hang there in the pocket, and he does. He knows he's going to get hit, but you see what the play action does to those linebackers and allows all that field then for him to just lay it out there and make a play.
You start looking at some of the numbers that Amon-Ra St. Brown has put up. We'll get to all. Here's the play. Hello. Max Crosby absolutely demolished the ball carrier, Jamison Williams.
Well, you remember earlier in the game when he ran so hard to crash and he ran the runner from behind. So now they're thinking maybe we'll take advantage of that. If he's going to crash hard, we're going to run the reverse and get right around him. And
mute your microphone.
That's his third tackle and a loss of 6. Man.
Jamison Williams says, let's not call that again.
Save that for next week. Oh, they're on their bye. Save that for 2 weeks.
Save that for Khalif Raymond.
There's the flag on. There's the catch by St. Brown, but the flag is down at the 32. And each side's pointing to the other. Goff's pointing to the Raiders. Crosby's pointing to the Lions. Here's the call.
Illegal. Right. So, Yahong, you were saying?
Okay, so like I think for quest 5, it's kind of like straightforward one because the header file is given in the in the PDF on page 3, and the only thing I think we need to do is just to write the definition for the divide by 0 exception, and the rest of the code is just like do the simplest stuff like plus, minus, subtract, plus, minus, multiply, and divide. And the weird thing is that because I think my code is do all the function and pass I think almost every test, but the thing is that the code, the line of, I only write about like 80 line of the code for the CPP file, but the professor said in the PDF the code should be like about 150 lines, because I find like a half of my code is like, so it's kind of weird.
Yeah, my code was also around their 70 to 80 line. But I think it's all right. as long as it does everything correctly. And if it passes all the tests, then there's a good chance that it is working correctly. And then, yeah, it's a matter of style, possibly. But I think the line count is there to let us know when we're over engineering something, and not as like you must have this many lines.
Okay, so like what I'm struggling like is I think the only test I didn't pass is the last quest, which is like I don't know, like I think the 14th mini quest is like and beyond. I think I kind of struggling to this part because all I do until now is I finish the quest 13, the 2 string, which is pretty straightforward. It's just like it's just right there, like just yeah. I kind of like I kind of like lost my mind to like figuring out what's the at the and beyond means. Like I don't know what's professor trying to like tell us to do.
I mean, the mini quest is just make it work with the output streams. And then the and beyond part is just like the name of the quest or mini quest.
Like the name.
I don't think there's extra meaning behind it. Like if you look at like, you know, the 12th mini quest, it's called the Great Divide. And the 13th one is called Two String.
Mm-hmm.
And then they all have their own names.
Yep.
But like they don't really mean too much. Because what you have to do is in like the description of the mini quest.
Hmm.
Anyway, hey, if you guys don't have any questions for me, just wanted to say best of luck for your midterm and all, and I'll take off. So that's basically what I stopped by for. Is to clarify any doubts you may have about the midterm. Yeah, I am enjoying the forum activity by those of you who are actually participating. So that is great. So yeah, just keep it flowing. I'm pretty sure you guys will be so glad that you did. Like 2 years from now, looking back at all the posts you were making, I'm pretty sure that you'll be very, very happy. All right, so I'm going to take off. Same format, okay? It is exactly the same as a syllabus quiz. Midterm is exactly the same format as a syllabus quiz. And you won't have to code, but you will have to simulate code in your head, just like in CS2A. Yeah, so you get given code fragments and asked about the behavior of that. And because it's CS2B, you will be very stretched for time if you try and copy it into an IDE and fill in the rest of the code, and in order to get it to run and actually fill in the ABCD responses, you'll run out of time. So it is super duper important to just run code in your head. That's all. And that basically just comes with practice. And that's why we have all these problems here. Okay. All these problems. And Jiahong, you have the password. Yes. So you should move on. Because later on you may find that, okay, well, you know what, maybe that's why I didn't get all the trophies. I can go back and fix it, and you can do that like that when you're working on something else. If you have the password, you shouldn't waste too many days. Absolutely, you should definitely try to dog everything. But if you have the password and you feel that you're totally stuck, then what that means is that, well, you know what, the professor has given me an option not to be stuck, meaning that, not to be bored, or say you have a diversion to go down and then come back and take a look at it. Yeah. Okay. So if you do have a password, just move on instead of being stuck. And it'll also help you make all these posts in the forums. Yeah, like Noah and Mason and these observations that people are making. Very nice. Okay, you can actually compile them into some kind of a report. But they're very nice, interesting. All right, thank you very much. No, if you don't have any other questions, I'll just take off. Okay. Hey, Connor,
Professor,
are you here? Yeah, sure, Jehong.
I just got like for the midterm, it's on Thursday, and I think I see the time limit is from like the 2 p.m. to the end of the day, and then the time limit is
Not
just
2 p.m. It should be from 6 a.m.
But okay, maybe I just wonder, since the time limit is just 1 hour, so we can choose any time, just
Yes.
like finish it.
Yeah, you can take it anytime. But once you start it, you have to finish it in 1 hour. You can't do like 30 minutes and take off and then come back and do another 30 minutes.
Okay, I see.
Yeah, it's open from 6 a.m. You can take it anytime you want.
Okay.
Yeah, anything else? No? Bye, you good? Yeah. Hey, keep the discussions flowing. And also, if you are behind on any of these questions, I want to pass it on to anybody else who's not making progress and are feeling stuck, but not asking for help. Okay, the whole point about this class, the way it is structured, is that you find the things that you are unclear about and ask, saying, well, you know what, I'm trying to move from here to here, but I'm stuck here. And can you help? And someone will help. Okay, or if we decide in our wisdom that nobody should help, we'll just be on the lookout for people who are helping and nix them, right? Well, not really. That's not the case. But usually, what happens is that people ask. You have to ask for help, and I expressly do not provide secret help to any student. Okay, if someone comes and asks me behind closed doors saying, well, help me, it totally does not help learning. Okay, they just get this and I found that they don't actually learn anything from it. And I realized, what is the point of giving such help? Not that any of you guys are doing it, but that's what I try to do, because as students, and your charter is to learn. So there is no reason why you shouldn't ask, unless there's two possible reasons. Okay, one is you're not interested at all, okay, in knowing what the answer is, so you don't ask. Okay, well, you shouldn't be like that, because you're actually interested in computer science. You're doing CS2B. The other is that you fear that an illusion you're putting up may be destroyed by asking a question. Maybe you want others to think that you actually know the answer, and that is also not good, isn't it? Right? So I think so. The right thing is to just, why do I keep getting these balloons? How do I get these balloons? Is this AI or something like that? And random, but I got balloons 2 times, right? I got it last time. I think I got one in CS2A also. So Zoom is doing some really cool stuff. That is nice. Yeah, anyway, so where I was going with that is you should just feel free to be your natural curious self. Okay, there is no disadvantage in concealing your natural curious stuff, because you're just asking because you want to know, and that way it'll be fun for everybody too, right? Because what I find, especially CS2A, okay, maybe not so much you guys, CS2A, lots of students don't know some stuff, but they're reluctant to ask. Okay, they think that maybe other people know, and so I don't want to look like a fool. First of all, you shouldn't think like that at all. Okay, you don't have to care about what other people think. But the thing is, it's also keeping them from asking questions, and then everybody thinks everybody else knows the answer, and that's not true at all. Yeah, everybody wants to know, and so you can always ask questions and encourage other people to ask questions, and that is really what keeps teachers excited and working, rather than routinely teaching the same stuff over and over again. It gets boring after a while for many people. So I think this way students can pitch in to make every class different from the previous one. You can bring a little bit of your personality. In fact, if you go back in the Reddit and look at all the posts that people have made, you'll find that everybody's talking about the same stuff, but they're all talking about it with a different angle, and they're bringing the personality into bear on the kinds of things they're looking for in data structures, and what they're optimizing for, and trade-offs they're making in space. All of those things, different takes on the same subject. And that is how you uncover the whole thing, right? You can't just take one take and say, well, that is the movie, right? So you got to look at all the different perspectives. And so yeah, I like what I see in the forums. Okay, so please do keep doing that. Okay, thank you. All right, I'm going to take off. Thank you all very much for putting up with me. Best of luck for your midterm, and maybe if you guys want a midterm review afterwards, you can give me a call, email, and I can attend the meeting after the midterm, week 7 or something like that too, just like this, and you can ask me questions you have about the midterm. Yeah, and for the guys who are regular in class, here's an offer. Okay, people who are attending class would have an option to send me corrections for your midterm. Okay, the ones who are not here today, they're not going to, if they get a wrong question, that's it, they don't get the point back. Okay, but you guys, after you get your midterm, you can send me corrections for the questions you got wrong. Okay, and say, well, I got it wrong, but this is what the answer is, and I know now. Okay, happy to revert the point to you. Is that okay? Yeah. So it's just a small bonus for kind of turning up to class and keeping the Reddit flowing and all. Okay. Thank you. All right. I'll talk to you guys later. All right. Best of luck.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay. So, do you guys have any problems you want to discuss?
I had one question. I'm not sure if anyone would know or not, but I was trying to understand the difference between a stateless and a stateful member function.
I believe stateless is just a member function that doesn't require any data from the class that contains it in order to function, such as, let me see if I can find an example. Okay. This example doesn't quite work, but in the quest 3, we have a static method called pow_2, which gives us the power of 2, or like the f power of 2, where we pass in the n. And so this method doesn't
Right.
rely on any information from the automaton class, so we can consider it stateless, since it doesn't remember anything in between function calls and only cares about what we pass it.
Oh, so okay, like it doesn't use any of the member like the member data.
Yeah. Basically, it would be like your usual function in math, where I would say f of x equals x squared. We can like always simplify it out, or like if we have it as part of a more complicated equation, we can just substitute x squared in. And it would be the same thing for a static or a stateless function, where basically if we have multiple calls to that function in a long bit of code, it would be equivalent to just pasting in the function contents every time instead of calling the function.
So, okay, so a stateless is it doesn't use data within the member function, and a stateful function will
Yeah.
use data.
Yeah, usually stateful functions
Okay.
either store data or like read from it. An example of that would be, I guess, the make next generation function of the automaton class. Since
Yeah.
yeah, it relies on the extreme bit from the automaton class in order to do its calculation.
Okay, so if we maybe passed in the extreme bit as a parameter instead, where we would put from the main function, it would be stateless.
I would say kinda, because it also does require the rule to be known, and that's also saved in the automaton class. But if we also pass in the
True.
rule, then it would be completely stateless.
Why I think it was the Maya quest. He was saying I can't remember if he wanted it to be either stateful or stateless, and I couldn't figure out why he would want that or what benefit that would give.
Okay, so if we did manage to make it completely stateless, then we don't actually need the automaton class because there's nothing that we're storing in the class. And so the user would just keep track of the rule, the extreme bit, and then the current generation. And then make next gen could just be a function on its own outside of the class.
Oh, okay. So yeah, it would be independent.
Yeah. However, it's also kind of the point of classes to contain all of the information needed for something. Like, if I were to implement the automaton class in like a real project, I would just store the current generation in the class itself as a member as well. But then it's like
If you want it,
basically with the class, the automaton class that we had to implement as part of the quest, the user of this class would have to store the automaton class and then also the vector of the current generation.
if it was stateless.
If it was
Oh,
like how it is right now.
really? I think. Oh yeah, wait a second. You're right. Yeah, it's true because next generation will return the next generation. So like the for loop to make the whole thing would be totally outside of the class. But actually the toString method puts it all together.
Yeah, the toString method. Yeah.
But you could call, yeah, you could call with like totally outside of the toString, you could just call it in the main function and loop through and make a new automation each generation.
Actually, I think
Hey,
toString still relies on extreme bit. If you pass it a width wider than the interesting portion of the current generation.
oh yeah. Wait. Well, yeah. To be total, yeah, it would not be stateless. I think that pretty much answers my question.
But yeah, speaking, so I saw your Reddit post that you posted after our last meeting with the general tree with one pointer per node. Let me paste the link in chat. So basically, you had a diagram where nodes were basically pointing to each other in kind of loops, right?
Yeah, right. I think you almost had that like already when you were trying to describe it, but it was a little different.
I'm just not sure about the one pointer per node part. Because, like, if you look at your diagram that you posted, node 2 has two arrows that come from it and goes to either node 1 or node 6.
Let me see. Give me 1 second. Okay, so you're saying node what was that again?
Node 2 has, like, two arrows coming from it.
Oh shoot. You're right.
Yeah. Having the
I don't
nodes,
know why I didn't see that.
yeah, having the nodes point to each other in like a loop is definitely an interesting solution, though.
Yeah, no, if you could do the same thing if I didn't, because the rest of the nodes, I'm pretty sure only have one pointer.
Yeah.
It's just two. The second node that doesn't. Why? Yeah, you're right. Think you could still. Oh, you couldn't get back to one. Hmm. I just don't know how you would get back to the root node if you got rid of the node that pointed back to one.
Well, I mean, with the original tree that we had, there is no way to get back to node 1 if we only had like node 2. So it's not a requirement to be able to access the parent.
Yeah, right. Oh yeah, I guess you're right.
But also then node 4 has to point to node 2 and 5.
Oh wow. Yeah. Oh, that was so wrong. I don't know how I didn't see that, but I guess I could get rid of the you could get rid of the node pointing from 2 to 1 and the node pointing uh from uh 4 to 2 and have the same structure. Yeah. Think no, actually you couldn't.
Yeah, because then 2 would be disconnected from the other half.
Yeah. I don't know why I didn't see that.
It's definitely an interesting idea, though. It kind of reminds me more of like a graph rather than a tree.
Graph. I think we're gonna implement a graph somewhere along in the quests. I don't remember how exactly they work though. Actually, is the octopus? See? Yeah, one of the quests. Is the octopus quest a graph? Oh
Well,
no. Yeah, like the graph data structure.
yeah, I guess I'm kind of curious what other data structures we'll implement, but I also don't want spoilers.
Yeah, okay.
But yeah, I guess I have something to look forward to.
Yeah. How exactly are you guys trying to study for the midterm?
I'll probably just like review some of the past quest code to make sure that I can still understand it.
Yeah.
Apart from that, not that much.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess I'm trying to just like I don't know, re-implement the topics like I don't know, make a tree and make a a deep copy for it, write something that has an exception in it,
Hmm.
just so I know the syntax.
Yeah.
Not really sure how hard it might be.
In the quest, or I mean, in the past, for CS2A, it was overall pretty simple, and then it's like the little mistakes that get you. For example, in a for loop, whether the plus or like the increment for the variable comes before the variable name or after it does affect how many times the loop runs.
Oh yeah. Why what how does that affect it?
So if like the increment comes before the variable, the variable gets
Uh-huh.
incremented before the condition is tested, I'm pretty sure. And then if it comes after, then it's incremented after the condition is tested or after loop, something like that. I also need to review that.
Yeah, I think I remember messing around with that. I'm not totally sure, but I think if you had it go the normal way and it looped and you had it loop like 5 times, and then you switched the increment operator, I think it would run like 4 times. I think. I'm not totally sure.
Yeah. Or actually, that might have been while loops. But yeah, something along those lines was in CS2A. But I don't know if we're gonna get like syntax style questions in 2B.
Yeah. I'm feeling like it'll be a lot harder because my I didn't take 2A with Anad or but it was a lot easier class. So I don't know. I'm just feeling like it could be a lot harder, especially when I read the uh what's this guy's name? When I read in the syllabus, he has the reading links. Where are they by somebody? Michael Layhoff, the modules, and that stuff is really dense. Like it's kind of hard to get through.
Yeah, it is.
Like most of it is like just trying to understand what the code does. And I'm assuming that's pretty much what we're going to be doing on the test. And it's pretty hard. It takes a long time to like try to, especially the recursion stuff.
I don't think the code that we'll be dissecting will be too complex. Okay, see if I post. Yeah, so it probably won't take too long. But also, the professor mentioned that if we had to copy paste it and run it, then it would go over the time limit.
Yeah, I think there was like 20 questions and an hour to get through them. So
3 minutes per
I don't
question.
know. Yeah. I mean, that's a little bit of time, but I almost feel like it would be almost take longer if I like just tried to sit and think about it than if I just put it in my IDE, but maybe not.
Yeah, I guess it depends.
He's allowing that though. He just doesn't recommend it, but he says you can do that. Like that's allowed.
Wait, are you asking if it's allowed?
Yeah.
I am not sure.
Yeah. I guess it's best to go with his recommendation.
I think so too. Do you guys have any other interesting problems to discuss?
I don't.
All right. See you guys next week then.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, see you.
Yeah.
Bye.
Good luck on the midterm.
Good luck.
Bye.